is another expense to your resources, and that is what we are preventing. Now, after the payment buttons, we also have a cancel button over here, and most of the buttons here are self-explanatory. What the cancel button actually does is it sends a cancel command to the system to cancel this bill, and that is to say, if a customer walks into your business and then they pick items and then they get to the counter and the cashier enters all the items and about to cash, and the customer is not interested in a purchase again, you should have the flexibility of canceling the bill. And when you cancel a bill, you are required to input a manager's authentication. And the cancelled bill will actually be logged as a bill for audit purpose. And then at the end of the day, it will be reported to the manager how much bills you have cancelled on your shifts in terms of quantity and in terms of value. We also have void. The void over here is you've added 10 items to the cart. The customer says take one item out. You shouldn't cancel the whole bill because that means you have to go over punching all the remaining 9 items. All you have to do is select the item and then click on void, and then the item is taken out of the cart. The next button we have over here is holding a bill. And I'm going to explain to you how holding a bill works. Now, let's say the customer walks in, picks item of 20, and then they put it in the cart. And let's use the Momo instance I used where the customer has to step aside. Now, if the customer is stepping aside to make their money ready, you don't have to cancel the bill because that means when they are back, you will have to punch the whole 20 items. If it's 100 items, you have to repeat that. Now, what we have kept in Venta POS is we've given your cashier the opportunity to actually hold the bill. And when you trigger the hold the bill function, what happens is that the bill is saved and a unique 4-digit number is printed and given to the customer. When the customer is coming back to make payment, they present that bill, and then when you take that number and then you then insert, that is where the recall button comes in. So when you click on the recall, you're required to put a number of the held bill and it will retrieve it into your cart and then you can check out. Now we also have lookup over here. I explained to you that there are 3 ways to add an item to Venta POS, and there is another way to also look for the price of an item, and that is where this lookup comes in. When you click on lookup over here, it will ask you input cannot be empty, and that is because the legend input there is nothing. So if a customer comes and says, oh, how much do you sell fresh chicken gizzard a kg? So you can type fresh in the legend input over here and click lookup. So the system will go through the products and then tell you that fresh chicken gizzard, which is over here, you sell it for 45 cedis per kg. Now, if the customer is interested in buying, like let's say 5 kg, you put 5 over here, then you click add to cart. So I don't want to just do any test over here. Right now, what I'm doing is telling you how this works before we go into the practice. So you get like a kind of repetition of how things work. So when you click on add, he adds the item to the cart. You can also tell him it's 45 cedis and you'll be like, oh no, that's expensive, or like, okay, let me buy something else. So that is what the lookup does. And we have loyal load. Loyal load over here is in Venta suite. We actually think about you retaining your customers. And you can't retain your customers by treating them just like as passers. You have to treat them as partners. And you only treat someone as a partner when you share some of your earnings with them. And you can only do this by giving customers discount on every purchase. So if the item is 100 cedis and on every purchase you give them 5% discount, they feel like they are in partnership with you. They give you money, you give them item at a discounted price. And that is where customer loyalty comes in. Now, in Venta Suite, we have a separate tool we call Beneficious. And what Beneficious does is a loyalty program for any business. These systems are all apart. And as a business owner, you can decide to subscribe to any of our systems. That is to say Venta POS, Venta Hub, Beneficious, or like Ocean. That is for CRM and other stuff. But we can also integrate all these systems into one for you because we basically built it and we understand how it all comes together to actually help yourself. So if you integrate loyalty system, that's our Beneficious. Every customer will be registered and given a loyalty number. Now, when a customer comes to purchase and they say, oh, I am a loyalty customer, all your cashier has to do is ask them for their phone number. And when they are giving the phone number,